Okay. Good afternoon and welcome back to Minty English. Today we're going to talk about 9 do's, 9 don'ts for taking interviews or doing interviews. Okay. We're going to start with the top 5 and then give you 4 more. Or did I say 9? Maybe 8. Okay? All right. So, top 5 do's of interviews are, number 1, these are do's. Do your homework. I know that sounds weird, but look, if you're going for a job interview, you need to have all the information about that job to be able to answer those questions. If it's a job you think you could do, but you're not sure, do your homework, okay? Number 2, make a good first impression. Now, I know you've probably heard this expression a lot, and that is, first impressions say everything about a person, okay? And what it means by make a good first impression is you always, you got to have confidence, you got to dress the part, you have to look the part, you have to be prepared. You have to be able to speak confidently, not just have confidence, but speak confidently. Okay, if you go in there and you start blah, 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 guess what's going to happen? You're going to be on that callback list. And the callback list, you know what it looks like? Let me show you. This is a callback list. It goes in the trash. They're not interested. Yes. Number 3. Listen and respond. Yes, accordingly. That means don't go in there and start asking a bunch of questions until they ask you if you have any questions for them. Listen to their questions carefully and make sure you understand the question and then answer the question. Okay? There's nothing wrong with you sitting there and thinking about what you want to say, but don't think too long. You need to be prepared. This is why you have to do your homework. All right? If there's anything that they say to you and you don't understand what they're asking, then please say, can you repeat that, please? I'm not quite sure what you mean about that. Could you clarify what you want? All right? All right. Number 4, prepare smart, open-ended questions. For the interviewer. Now, if you don't know what that means, okay, an interview is a two-way street. And what I mean by that is the interviewer will ask you a question, then if you have a question, you ask a question, okay? In other words, you need to ask a question that's going to elicit a response. It can be a yes or no response, or it can be an explanation for something. You really don't want those kind of questions, but sometimes you can't avoid it, all right? And yes, if you do not understand what prepare means, that means prepare your questions before you go in there. You need to have all your information together and be ready to answer any question that they have. Even if you can't answer it in a way that you feel is going to be helpful for you, you need to be creative with your answer. Right? Number 5, sell your strengths and expertise. Now, you need to go in there and sell yourself. If you say to yourself, I'm not a salesman, I don't know how to do that. Well, you need to go in there and you need to tell that interviewer why this job is perfect for you and why you are perfect for this job, why you are perfect for this company. And you have to say it with confidence. You have to say it as though you believe it. Don't go in there and say, well, I think I can work with people. No, you have to say, I am a company person. I am a team player. I've done this. You need to sell what you've done that can make you the perfect candidate for this job. All right? Now, here are some kind of, it's important, but these are some that kind of make you feel like this is not necessary. Well, it is necessary. Number 6, always get a good night's sleep before your interview. You do not want to go to an interview where you're sitting there and you're yawning. Oh, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to look like he's boring you because you're so tired. Okay? So, always get a good night's sleep and be prepared. Yes? Another must. Number 7. Always get your interviewer's name correct. Make sure you know his name. Don't forget it. Okay? If his name is Yahya, don't go in there and say, yes, Mr. Yusuf. No, don't do it. Make sure you remember his name. And if you have problems pronouncing it, please practice it before you go in there and make a fool out of yourself. All right? Another one. And the last one, again, which is kind of like number 5, and that is make yourself sparkle. Yes, make yourself sparkle. That means good night's sleep. You had a shower before you went. You're not wearing a lot of cologne. Your hands are clean. You know exactly what you want to say. You know exactly how you're going to respond for any given question. Yes, and always, always remember, do not fidget. Okay? That's actually coming in the don'ts. And always look them in the eye when they speak to you. Okay? Don't be looking at the floor. Don't be tapping your foot and looking to, oh, my shoe's untied. Okay? All right. So those are the do's. So for the don'ts, just one time. The don'ts are okay. Do not speak poorly of okay. Do not speak poorly of your present or previous employer. Okay? Don't do it. Okay? Okay. It's not very polite. It's not very respectful. If you don't like your employer that you're working for, just say you have differences that can't be resolved. Okay? All right. I mean, look, if your employer is not paying you, don't go in there and say, I can't work for someone who's not going to pay me. Don't do that. You have to go in and you have to honestly say, the salary is not enough for me. Okay? The pay is not enough. I know I am worth more than what I'm getting paid. Right? Number 2, do not falsify information. Okay? Look, don't lie. Lie is not going to get you in the door. If you go in there and you lie, trust me, they will find out. Lies always come back and they bite you. Don't do it. Be honest. If they ask you what kind of experience you've had, if you haven't gotten the experience, don't sit there and say that you have, because it's not going to help you in the long run. Because if you say you got the experience and you get the job, and then you can't live up to the experience you claim you have, guess what? You're not going to have that job very long, right? Number 3, do not speak over the interviewer. If he is sitting there and he's talking to you or you're having a conversation, all right, please do not try to talk over him, all right? I mean, why would you want to talk over him anyway? You can't hear his questions if you're trying to talk over him. Let him finish his questions first, and then you can answer those questions, all right? Number 4. Do not assume it isn't an interview. There are a lot of different types of interviews out there, okay? It doesn't matter if you're sitting in an office, the interviewer is sitting behind a desk and you're sitting in front of it. It doesn't matter if you're walking with the person through the company, getting a tour of the company. Don't think for 1 minute that that's not an interview, all right? Because they will always be asking you questions, okay? They're always going to be an interview process that you've never experienced before, okay? They may seem like they're being very friendly, just asking friendly questions, but it is going to be an interview, so don't assume that it isn't. So that means always keep your questions and your responses professional, not very casual-like, all right? Number 5, do not let any rejections, and when I say rejections, I'm talking about past rejections, infringe on new ones or cause new ones. Okay, I say new ones. We'll say future ones. Okay? In other words, if you've been rejected for, let's say you weren't hired for a job and you're rejected, okay? Don't go in there and tell them, well, I applied for this job, but I didn't get it because blah, 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 blah. How do you know that this person that you're talking to is not going to have the same reaction and never give you the opportunity for the job if you're talking about why you were rejected for other jobs? Don't do it. Safe. Be safe. Play smart. Okay? Number 6. Do not be late. This is a big no-no. Okay, big no-no. Always be on time. It's better to be early than to be late. All right? Do not show that you're nervous. This is a big no-no. If you look nervous, then chances are you're probably going to stutter and stammer when you speak. You're going to fidget. You're going to do all kinds of things that you shouldn't do. So, do not show that you're nervous. And the last one. If you're sitting in an office and someone else walks into the room, whether it be a man or a woman, do not stand for that person. Even though I know a lot of people are taught that when someone else walks into the room, you're supposed to stand to show respect. You are in an interview. Do not stand when someone else walks in. Okay? All right. These are your 8 don'ts. You had your 8 do's, and I hope this helps you on your next or on your future job hunting. Okay? If you have any questions or any suggestions, leave it in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Oh yes, remember, there is a thumbs up down there too.